Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ video here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRift NoDQ. I have your questions as always from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag NoDQvideo. First one today comes from Jeremy Dorset. With the recent departures of Mike and Maria, I think he's jumping the gun a little bit here, could we see them possibly going to All Elite Wrestling along with possibly Dolph Ziggler and maybe Eli Drake and a few other former WWE and former Impact Wrestling stars to join up with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks in All Elite Wrestling? So yeah, Mike and Maria Kanellis have reportedly asked for their releases, but that doesn't mean that those releases are going to be granted. Same thing with the Revival. That has been reported on, that they asked to be released. WWE is not just going to let these people go. WWE knows that All Elite Wrestling is looking for talent, and people jumping to All Elite Wrestling from WWE is something that could potentially give AEW momentum. WWE is going to do everything in its power to prevent AEW from having that momentum and getting those talents right away. The likelihood is that WWE is going to let the talent contracts run out. So basically, if the Revival do not want to work, they'll just go home. Same thing with Neville. That's what happened with Neville. Neville was unhappy and he just went home, and WWE had him sit out the rest of his contract. Dolph Ziggler is another name that has been rumored to be possibly leaving WWE soon. Now, his situation, there's conflicting reports. There have been reports that his contract is actually up soon. There's been talk about his contract being up for a while now, and maybe he signed an extension, who knows, but there has been talk that Ziggler's contract might be up soon. And he apparently turned down a producer role in WWE. I think now that AEW is a thing and they are booking shows and it looks like the talents are going to be paid well, this could potentially change the game as far as talents, when their WWE deals are up, they'll have other options besides Ring of Honor or going overseas. And this could definitely influence how WWE conducts business in the future in terms of paying talent and that sort of thing. But yeah, we could definitely see some of these guys end up leaving WWE because now there's another option out there. Got this one here from Steven. Do you think AEW will have All In be their annual event and be their version of WrestleMania? Would not surprise me if that's the case, just like Slammiversary has been TNA's yearly tradition to celebrate the anniversary of the company, although Bound for Glory was pretty much TNA's version of WrestleMania. It does appear that there will be an All In 2 in September, likely in the Chicago area. I could definitely see that becoming the WrestleMania for AEW, and why not? It's the anniversary of their first show that got all this going. Why not? I mean, it's always possible this Double or Nothing show could end up being the anniversary, or maybe they'll go with a different time. But September seems like a good date to do the big show, because you don't want to do it too close to WrestleMania. And I think September's a nice time period where it's like right there about 6 months after WrestleMania. So I think it's good. And it worked out nicely with All In. So I say, why not? This one comes from Andy. Do you think that WWE has a silent partnership thing going on with AEW, considering AEW's producer is one of Triple H's good friends? Well, that producer that you're talking to is Billy Gunn, of course. I don't think so. I know some people are thinking back to ECW and how it was later revealed that WWE was helping out ECW financially, and ECW was like pretty much a farm league for WWE, where WWE would bring in guys from ECW, and there was some sort of deal between the two companies where they were working together. I don't think that's going to be the case with All Elite Wrestling. I feel like AEW is going to be more of its own entity, and they are going to try and not be better than WWE or take over WWE, but try to be a legitimate alternative to WWE. ECW was more about being a cult promotion. Will AEW go beyond that? I mean, I really feel like they're going to make that effort. They're going to try to reach that next level and be more than just a glorified indie promotion with a cult following. I think they're going to try to be more mainstream and bring in and create some new fans. At least, that's what the buzz is right now. And I think that that's the hope within the industry, that they are going to try and be more mainstream and actually be a real legitimate alternative to WWE. All right, this next one comes from Marvelous. Hey Aaron, got a few questions that tie in together. What's next for Bray Wyatt upon returning, and will this time away be enough to be a soft reset for him, and is his top star potential completely gone? First of all, I have no idea what WWE has planned for him. That is very difficult to say. Who knows if there are any plans for Bray Wyatt at this point? Could he potentially come back and be a big star again and have a fresh start? Sure, there's a possibility, but I think it's important to evolve the character. And I think one of the problems with Bray Wyatt is that we haven't really seen much of an evolution in his character since he debuted. Does he have the potential to be a top star still? I feel like the odds are against it, but if he does come back and his character is tweaked and it catches on with the bulk of the audience, then yeah, there's always a possibility. But at this moment, I would say it's less likely than ever that he's going to be, let's say, WWE Championship material. Got this one here from Stefan of the NXT Reviews. Hey Aaron, Becky Lynch costs Ronda the title at the Royal Rumble. Ronda enters and wins the Rumble match, so she challenges Becky at WrestleMania. Meanwhile, Lars debuts in the Men's Rumble and wins. His second match is Lesnar at WrestleMania and wins, so no streak or squashes. Your thoughts? Well, regarding Ronda, I do like that idea, although I feel like it doesn't really fit with Becky's character. I guess her character just doesn't give a damn, and I suppose it would work since Ronda interfered in Becky's match at TLC, so Becky could just be returning the favor and costing Ronda. However, I would be really shocked if Sasha Banks wins the women's title. I think Ronda's keeping it until WrestleMania, so I don't think that scenario is going to happen, but it's not a bad idea to have Ronda win the Royal Rumble after losing the title and then challenging Becky. I think it's a solid idea, but I think it's unlikely to happen. And regarding the other scenario, I think if you asked me this question a month ago, I would say probably not. I don't think WWE is going to put that much stock into Lars Sullivan this quickly. But now, especially with the reports that he had an anxiety attack and he might not even be used at this point, I definitely don't see that happening. I would say very highly unlikely in all likelihood that he comes in, wins the Rumble, and then beats Brock Lesnar in his second match. It's not something WWE is going to do. They're not going to push a guy that strongly and go all the way with him without him being tested. They got to be confident that he can carry the company. And, Lars Sullivan just doesn't have the track record. Very, very unlikely. Got this one here from Mr. Yuck. If Finn Balor beats Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, would it be the perfect moment to turn him heel by crapping on Fanned and finally wiping the smile off of his face? I think he meant the fans. I don't really see the point in turning Finn Balor heel. I know some people have argued that, but look at Dean Ambrose. Look at how badly WWE botched the Ambrose turn. Balor still gets good reactions from the crowds, so I don't see the point in doing that. He's a very flashy performer. And I know I said the same thing about Sami Zayn, but Balor, I feel like You could have him win as the Demon, and I would be fine with that personally, but I don't see that happening. I'd love to see Balor show up as the Demon at the Royal Rumble and beat Brock Lesnar and just let that be it for Lesnar, but we all know that that's wishful thinking. I sense that Balor, whether he's the Demon or not, he's probably going down to Lesnar, and he's just going to go back into the mid-card, feuding for the IC title, doing stuff like that, and that's going to be it. I don't see the point in turning him heel right now. This one comes from Brian Brown. Hey Aaron, which scenario is more likely or would you prefer? Finn Balor winning the Rumble and choosing to face Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania, or Daniel Bryan versus Mysterio at WrestleMania after Rollins wins the Rumble? Please answer in video. Been a fan of your site since themayhem.com. Well, thank you for that. I'm glad that you've been supporting for that long. So Balor, I don't think is going to be in the Rumble since he's facing Lesnar. There's always a possibility he could be added to it. Just because somebody's in a singles match doesn't mean that they can enter the Royal Rumble match later. However, I think of those scenarios that you presented, I would prefer Daniel Bryan versus Rey Mysterio. I think that would be a really interesting WWE title match for WrestleMania. Will WWE do it? That remains to be seen, but it's a fresh matchup, and Mysterio's been hot. Bryan's character has been hot. I think it would be great. I think it would be a great WrestleMania match if they were given, a good 30 minutes. It could be a potential show stealer. So I definitely like the Bryan versus Mysterio idea, but even that I think is still a long shot at this point. This one comes from Jerry Slaughter, also from the NXT Reviews. With the opening of the new Performance Center in England, where do you think WWE and NXT will set up shop next? Maybe Mexico, Central America, or will they get ballsy and go with Japan? Japan would be very interesting, although WWE can just sign away New Japan Pro Wrestling talents and bring them into NXT. I'm saying this from my own personal perspective. I think that NXT UK is enough. I think if you add another international brand of NXT, it's just overkill. I think it would be a major international market though, and UK is a major one, so it would probably be Mexico, maybe Australia, with English speaking superstars. When I think about it, I think it's more likely WWE would go in a market with a largely English speaking population, so probably Australia if I had to make a prediction on it. But I could definitely see Mexico, and I would not rule out Japan. I would say that that's always a possibility. They may do China, but Australia, I think, would be a logical choice if they were going to continue to expand internationally. I think they would more likely go into an English-speaking market. This one comes from The Sinful Saint. Why does Finn Balor still wear business clothes when he's no longer in any kind of power on Raw? Makes no sense, and it comes off as dumb. Well, apparently, WWE, and I think a lot of us would say this, that I still have Balor on the brain from earlier. Baron Corbin doesn't really have the physique to be wrestling with his shirt off. I'm not sure why he just doesn't go back to wearing the t-shirt and jeans, or maybe just change up his look again, wear something different. Yeah, it's really silly for him to just come out there in the same general manager attire that he was wearing before when he's not in that role anymore. So I do think it's a bit silly, but I guess I understand Vince's perspective and maybe the perspective of the fans, where he just doesn't have the physique to be wrestling without a shirt on. Who knows? Got this one here from Kit. Why does WWE sign so much talent just to let them go to waste? Many superstars such as The Revival and Shinsuke Nakamura excelled in NXT, but now they're just mid-carders, and Bray Wyatt went to champ to chump. Can you see this changing anytime soon? Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, WWE has a lot of people under contract, so that's problem number one. They try to sign up everybody they can. WWE has the money to do it. They want to dominate the marketplace, so WWE signs way more people than they really need. They have all these different brands, NXT, NXT UK, 205 Live. you also have to keep in mind that not everybody can be pushed. Some people are going to be main eventers, some people are going to be mid-carders, some people are going to be lower card guys, and some people might just not get spots on TV. Some guys will excel more than others. Some will play politics, some won't. There's so many factors, but all that adds up, and yeah, there's only going to be so many opportunities out there, and sometimes an act in NXT might not catch on with a casual audience. It happens. And sometimes it's the creative's fault, and sometimes the act just doesn't translate to a mainstream act. So it just depends on the situation, and there's lots of factors that are involved in how that all plays out. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ Video. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please share a link to this video on social media. Tell a friend. Word of mouth can really go a long way. Buy a shirt, nodq.com/shirts, and stay tuned to nodq.com for Royal Rumble coverage. And I will see you guys next time.